because my name's Gwen. Today is Thursday the 23rd of May, and I'm in a bit of a rush because my neighbors who have recently moved in, they are going to do some housework with the construction and such. So I'm hoping to be able to record a podcast before the drilling and hammering starts again. So if you see many cuts, that's probably because there will be noise for a bit. And if you hear some funny background noises, that's probably it. I am wearing nothing knitted today because it's one of those days where it's cloudy but warm. So I'm wearing a t-shirt with a little cardigan thing over it. I have some wonderful news. My budgie who had flew the coop 2 weeks ago now today, and was found after 4 days at the other side of the island of Dordrecht. Yes, Dordrecht is an island where I live with my husband and my daughter and my 2 budgies. Is still alive, back home, safe and sound, very tired, a little bit injured, and he just needs a lot of rest and a lot of cuddles and a lot of food to hopefully be better and get well again. He hasn't been talking much, he hasn't been flying around much, he's just too tired, but we are all very happy he's safe and sound, and I'll put some footage of him at the end of this little video so you can see how much he progressed in the last week or so. Yeah. Alright, Henrietta Hen has also joined us. She's sitting on a perch behind me. She's my version of the emotional support chicken, which I very much needed the past few weeks. She is a pattern by Claire Garland or Pebbles Knits on Instagram, and she is lovely. I talk all about her in my previous podcast if you want to know. My FOs. I have no knitting FOs this time. My budgie Beertje, Little Bear, took up most of my brain space last week. At first I was just too sad and depressed. You see, my budgie, if you don't know budgies are like really tiny dogs. They're very loyal and they're very sweet. And when he's out of his cage, he's always on this shoulder. So when he wasn't there and he flew away, I just felt like I lost a limb. So I just couldn't knit. I couldn't do it. Maybe some crochet here and there, but I couldn't. I was too sad. And then when he returned, I was too busy watching him, trying to get him to feed, give him some medication, seeing if he would sleep or not, or have a drink, or, well, you know, all the budgie stuff. Okay, back to the actual content. My spinning bobbins. Yesterday I spun together my BFL bobbin and my Kedito bobbin, and I think it turned out lovely. They are both by Blommeveld, which is a local to me, well, not very local, but in my country, to me, dyer. So the yellow mustardy thread is the Kedito, and the blue other colored yarn is the BFL. Now, I am very new to spinning, so this is only the 2nd or 3rd twining I did. And like this here, this is the start of both bobbins. So that's where it's, well, a bit shaky and loosely plied. But the further you get into the bobbin, the better it will become. And I will show you the skeins when they are washed and dried completely and it's skeined up, and it'll be beautiful. I'm sure of it. Of course, I had some leftovers, and because this one is pretty full, as you can see, so I needed a way to use up those leftovers because I didn't want to throw it away. And I searched on YouTube and I came across a video where someone made a ply bracelet in which you wind the leftover yarn around your fingers, switch over to your other hand and then ply from there. I also have a little video of that. I'll try to insert that. And this is the result, which is a lovely, I think it's sport weight, maybe when it's washed it'll be a decay, I don't know, but I think it's very pretty. So this is the mustard one. See, it's quite a lot left over, so I think it will be a lovely mini skein. And the other one is the BFL, which is also plied in on itself. I think it's really pretty. So, very happy with that. I wonder what it looks like when it's washed and skeined up. But first it'll have to rest. At least that's what I'm told, because now it's very active. So it'll probably wiggle everywhere when you unwind it. So I'm letting it sit here for a few days and then I will skein, yeah, probably on my Swift. I will wind it around my Swift, tie it with ties all around and then wash it, let it dry with some weights on it, and then I can skein it up and then I will be able to use it. This is all for the DRK Spin It to Knit It cowl. Well, yeah, is it a cowl? I'll spin it to knit it anyway. And there's also a Traveler Spin It to Knit It with your hand spun thing. I'll try and link everything down below in about everything I talk about, really. So yeah, that's for that. And now I can start something new, which is always nice. My works in progress. Well, I have finished my crochet bag, well, the crochet part anyway, of my crochet bag inspired by Kedito, which is a Turkish crochet maker. I've used Drops Bell and Drops Cotton Light and some Zwarte Varet Cecilia with a 4mm G hook. So this is what it looks like. It's really weird to show you like this. You know, it has this little fold here, pleat here. And I did some decreases on this part here so it can fit into the clasp. There are a few loose ends still to weave in, but I can't be bothered just yet because I need to sew the lining first, and I just haven't been able to get out my sewing machine just yet to do that. I have to figure out and calculate everything for the lining, which is basically me just doing something to make it work. I don't really do math. Well, maybe subconsciously. I'm not very good at math. So yeah, this is just waiting for its lining and then I can use it. Mine is slightly bigger. Miss Kedito, I don't know her real name. I keep forgetting. She is making a recipe for this on her Instagram account. So if you're interested, you can look up the pattern, sort of pattern there. The only tip I can give you, someone asked me, why are my crochet squares so square? Well, you do that by crochet around, flip it over, crochet around, flip it back, crochet around, flip it, flip it, and flip it. Every time you finish a round, just flip it, and then you won't get that tilting, skewing thing you get when you just work every round on the right side. And the plus side of that is there is no wrong or right side, because it will be constantly flipped, and yeah, that makes it work really nicely. I just make sure that the center is the right side out. So that's my well, words. That's my pro crochet tip, I guess. And that's where I can see which side is actually the wrong or the right side. But there is no really wrong or right side anyway. So this just has to wait for its lining. I can't wait to finish this because I really want this bag and I love it very much. I think it's genius. Someone asked me also where I ordered this. I've been looking around Etsy or local places where I can buy this. The biggest one I could find wasn't big enough until I used an app or website if you have a computer. AliExpress. Sorry, I hate ordering there, but sometimes I do in case of emergencies, like this one. I ordered 2, so I'm thinking about making another crochet bag, but not with granny squares, but with I forgot the name. It's lovely. It's beautiful. It's made out of panels. I'll put a picture here. I'll put the name here. I have no idea how I'm going to pull it off, but I think I'm going to piece those panels together to make another one of these bags. But that's for the future. First, I want to finish this one and sew the lining. So this is half an FO, I think. Half a finished object? Yeah, I could count it as a finished object, even with the ends not all woven in. There's just 2 or 3, right? It's finished, right? All right. The thing I started working on before, what's this? My daughter has been making bracelets and they're everywhere. First thing I've been working on before Little Bear disappeared was a tight fitting, slim fitting, what do you call that? Negative ease, fitted, cropped sweater with half sleeves, 3/4 inch sleeves for myself, for over my dresses. I have this lovely black dress which I have to also remove the sleeves from, because the sleeves are too poofy and you cannot wear anything over it, and I hate it. So I want to wear that dress, so I need to remove the sleeves. It's the Wild Ivy by Wool and Pine Designs. If I can find the right ball of yarn it's attached to, which is living in my purple pink hazel bag, Roland Stroll bag. Some of you who have seen previous episodes know I have these balls of, wow, hello? Are you attached to something? No, you're not. Right, okay, this is, oh, right. Some of you who've watched my previous episodes might know I have these lovely drops, cotton merino, dark green balls of yarn for a cardigan I wanted to make myself for my brother's wedding, which I didn't do. So I had these in my stash and I wanted to make something with them. So I decided to use them for this Wild Ivy. I have already split for sleeves. I haven't picked this up in 2 weeks. Oh wow, I'm actually further along than I thought. I really get the urge to knit on it again, which is good, because I associated this with losing my little budgie. But now he's back, so I think I can safely knit on it again. And it's a raglan constructed sweater with a lace detail here at the front, as you can see. Well, you can knit this with a cable needle or without. I chose to knit without. I just think it makes me so much faster. And you might be wondering, why did you do the neckline already? Because I wanted, the pattern gives you various options for the neckline, and I wanted a neckline that it wasn't too low but also wasn't too high. So I started out with a neckline so I can try and fit check it as I go along, because I also need to do some decreases past the boobage area to make it skin tight, and I probably want to knit it up to here. Yeah, I think so. I really want it cropped because my dresses have a natural waistline seam here, and I want my sweater to end here and not anywhere below because it'll look funny. So I don't know how long this cable will be going for, but still a ways. Yeah, I really like it. And because it's cotton merino, it'll be perfect for days like this, where it's not really cold, but also not really warm, and you need something to keep you warm, but not too warm. So this is a merino cotton blend, which I think will be absolutely lovely. I really like the stitch definition too. Look here, this is the back. It's just plain stockinette. But I really love it, and it's got a heathered look because of the cotton in it. Yeah, I think it looks really nice. So this is one of my whips, which I will work on again, because that horrible feeling is gone. And then I started another test knit. I was on the shortlist for this test knit. She asked me a while ago, and well, I offered, and I've tested many a sweater for her, for Sophie Ochera from Sophie Ochera Knitwear. I have made 3 sweaters for myself and 1 for my daughter, all test knits, if I remember correctly. But she asked me if I would test knit one of her kids' patterns again. The biggest size is a 10-year-old, but my daughter is 11 and wears 12, 13-year-old clothes because she's so tall. So I told her, I don't know if she wants it, because puberty is hitting this household very hard. And we need to see if we need to make any adjustments, because the yoke depth, oh, my daughter's thin as a reed, but well, you know, their bodies do change. So we might need to rearrange the yoke stitches, I don't know. But I dug in my stash, pulled it all out, told my daughters you could have it in black and white, and I'll order some more grays, and we'll use the neon, and what do you think? And she said, I hate it, I don't want it. So I was all disappointed, because that meant I couldn't do the test knit, and I really wanted to do this test knit because I needed something to take my mind off losing my little budgie. So I looked at my stash and I was thinking, what am I going to do with this anyway? So I asked Sophie, can I knit another size? She also mentioned in her little email that she needed desperate test knitting for sizes 2 and 4-year-old. So I said, can I knit a 4-year-old size? I have no one that needs a 4-year-old size sweater, or maybe my little niece, but as you may know, she's in a family of 5 kids altogether, and they don't do wool because it takes too much time to wash it. So either I will give it to her if her parents agree, but if they think they can't take good care of it, I will just keep it or sell it, or I don't know. Anyway, I'm just having fun right now. I am knitting a little colorwork sweater. Look how tiny it is. I forgot how tiny kids were. Well, this looks very tiny, I know. Let's see if my needles, yeah. It's also a little bunched up on the needles right now. I'm hoping not to lose any stitches. So she makes you do a little split here at the back of the neckband. I'm thinking of doing a little button closure here. I'll crochet a loop and then sew the button at the other end, but I'll see when it's done. I tried it over my daughter's head and she can get it over her head. So this may look tiny, but it's functional. So this is the how far I've come. I have split for sleeves, and I am now working on the body part, which will be a repeat of this. And I think I've already popped in a picture. You could have seen the finished version. I am using all leftovers, drops, Fable, Nepal. No, not Nepal. Nepal. Nepal's chunky. No, drops Fable, Nord, and Flora. And the neon yellow is Lang Yarn Jawol. And they all live in my Hunzenstrik bag. I knitted myself. The neon is like really neon. Look, it's just insanely neon, and I love it. And it's, well, not halfway done, but I want to order some more of this neon colors. They also have pink and green, I think, and I love it. It's great for accents in color work. So these are all leftovers. You see, I made socks with these, and I use them in various other projects from Sophie or my Stephen West shawl. So this is the main color, drops Flora. There's the other one. And drops Nord. These will be the body colors. This is lovely and headed, and this is also lovely and headed, and I think it will make a lovely sweater. Well, the pattern's not in here, is it? No, because I'm working on this every day at the moment. So yeah, I do think it looks rather small, even for a 4-year-old, but my niece is a little underweight. There's nothing wrong with her physically, or she doesn't eat that much. So she would be the perfect recipient for this. But I don't know if they would want it. I'll just finish it and then I'll see what I do with it. Yeah, I don't know. Do you ever knit something just for the fun of it and then have no receiving end? I've never done that before. But yeah, this is my keep your mind distracted and occupied, just in case your budgie might not make it project. That's what I'm calling this. Yeah. So it's lovely. I really like it. So this is about all the content I have for you. I have no acquisitions, no other things I need to mention, no dream knitting. I'm really a bit stagnant at the moment. I really want to knit myself a summer top, but I'm not sure which one just yet. I just can't seem to make up my mind. Yeah, life's busy here. Lots of stuff going on. I do want to spin some more because I really like it. Yeah, so if you were here for the knitting content or crochet content, then that is it. And I will talk about my little budgie now, if you like. If not, I'll see you again next time, hopefully. Bye. And if you do decide to stay, my budgie, who was in his cage with the door open, we have this sliding door here, which you can use to go outside in the garden, with a screen door too. And the screen door was closed and the sliding door was open. And my husband was going outside to the barbecue to do something. Clean it, I guess, because we were already done eating. He looked back to see if Little Bear was in his cage, and he was, and his mate Flitz was also in his cage. So he opened the sliding door, and like a little cannonball, Little Bear flew across the room to my husband's shoulder, who already set a foot outside. My husband got spooked and said, "Oh!" And if he hadn't said that, but just took a step back, Little Bear would have just sat there on his shoulder and nothing would have happened. he really blames himself for all of this, and he shouldn't, because it wasn't his fault. He just was startled by a little bear. And because my husband said, huh, little bear just took off, and I can still see his blue back flying across the sky, across the pond, which is behind our house. I can't see that, but later we of course we started searching immediately, calling for him. I had this little ball with me with a little bell in it. He loves to play with that, and I kept calling him and making rounds. And at some point I did hear him call me. You know, I heard him chirping back every time I called his name. I could hear him, but I couldn't find out where he was. Turns out he was in a tree across the pond. And my husband saw 2 jackdaws chasing him in a panic, flying around. So he ran and ran as fast as he could across the pond to try and find him and catch him. But he was already gone. So my husband really thought those 2 jackdaws got him, because he saw one of them sitting on the rooftop on the houses across the pond, pecking at something. So we were all devastated, but I couldn't believe it. So the next day, my daughter was absolutely devastated. The next day, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I woke up really early, and I was thinking, I need to try and find him again, because I heard him once, maybe I'll hear him again. And I took our little travel cage and with some seeds in it and walked across the neighborhood calling him, even though it was 6 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't hear a thing. The night before, lots of neighbors helped us try and find him, but nobody heard him, nobody saw him. My husband then printed out some flyers. Of course, we were out of printer paper, but my friend who lives at the end of our street brought me some. He made a flyer, and we put them all on the lampposts everywhere, but nobody said anything about seeing him or finding him. So we basically thought he was dead. 4 days later, however, there is this Facebook group where I'm in. It's like a group where you can give things away to other people for free who need them. It's a thing here in this city. Weggeefhoek, it's called, the giving away corner. And someone posted, I have found this budgie, my cat has got him. I'll post a picture. And I immediately, well, not me immediately, my notifications go off at 10 p.m, quarter to 10 p.m. So I missed that, because my friends who live in this neighborhood are also part of that group, and they tag me saying, Gwen, isn't that your budgie? Isn't that your budgie? But I didn't see that or hear that because my notifications were off. And then at 10:10, when we were off to bed, tired and sad, someone rang our doorbell and started banging on the windows, and we were like, what kind of a crazy person is that? So I opened the door, and there was my friend from the other street, and she was holding a phone, and she said, is this your budgie? And I crumpled like a deck of cards and cried and said, yes, it's him, and we missed him so much, and where is he? Who found him? So he was taken to the animal shelter. The woman that found him and took him away from the cat gave him to the animal shelter. And my friend at the door, she phoned the shelter, because you can with the emergency number, you can just phone them even if it's night. And they answered, and they said, yes, we have him, and he's okay, and you can pick him up tomorrow at 11. Next day, me and my daughter was so happy he was back, also crying in her bed, because we told her, obviously. I woke her up for it. I said, you're not going to school, you're going with me. We're going to pick him up at 11. Your father has to work, I don't want to do this alone. And you don't want to go to school and not know, here we go. You don't want to go to school, so you're going with me to the animal shelter. And at first, I called him at 11 o'clock, look, we're coming to get him, how is he doing? And she said, He's not doing well. He has not eaten, he has not drank any water. He is, well, emaciated, hungry, thin, and he has a wound on his back, pretty severe. So I was like, oh, okay. So preparing myself for the worst, we went there, and he was sitting there on his little perch, all fluffed up and sad, and he really looked like he was going to die anytime soon. So she told me, you can pick him up. So I picked him up, and I held him like that, and I was sobbing. And she's still get emotional. She said to me, you need to go to the vet and you need to put him down because this is torture for him. So I said, okay, we will do that. I'll go to my car, pay the woman, go to my car. And I said to my daughter, we'll call the vet and we'll go there straight away and just stop this misery for him. But he was in his little travel cage, and we went to the vets before because of some big issues he had, and which was fixed. There were still some seeds at the bottom of the cage, and my daughter started talking to him, and I started talking to him, and he started scurrying about eating those seeds. And I said to my daughter, we're not calling the vet, we're going home and we're going to give him a nice bowl of seeds and see what he does. So we were here, I put him on the table right here, put in his seeds, and he started eating like there was no tomorrow. So I did call the vet because I wanted that wound checked out. So we went to the vet in the afternoon, and the vet never even mentioned putting him down. He said, we're going to do whatever it takes to patch him up and make him be okay again, because, well, everybody always says budgies are fragile. He said budgies are really quite tough. He called him a little tiger. In the meantime, I had figured out where he had flown to, and if you go as the crow flies, it's like 4 kilometers. I don't know how many miles that is, but I'll put it here. In a straight line, but of course he flew like, you know, I don't know how he flew. He has made kilometers, miles and miles he must have flown. I'm amazed how far he has flown. He's all the way across the island. If he had gone over, he would have flown into the Else, Biesbos. He would have been lost. So that cat really took her chance, caught him just at the very last border of where he could have been found. So we were very lucky. The vet is a special bird vet. He's just in the town over, and he looked at his wound and he said, well, it's big, but it's not really deep, so I think it'll heal. I'll give him some antibiotics, some fluids, some painkiller stuff. You need to do the painkillers for 3 days and the antibiotics for 7 days. I was so happy. So we took him home. He kept eating, he kept sleeping. I just left him here on the table in his travel cage. Flitz didn't even know he was here because he didn't talk, didn't chirp, nothing. By Thursday, I was really worried again. He was panting a lot. If you followed me on Instagram, you would have followed along for the ride. I guess I kept posting there in my stories. But he was panting and I was worried, and my husband said, well, call the vet, we'll see what he says. And he said, well, come on over. If it's really that tough going, we can always admit him here. I never heard of being a budgie being admitted, but I was all for it. Even if it would cost me an arm and a leg, but I was all for it. But he said, no, he's eating, it's just being a little tough on him and he's tired. Just give him more rest and quiet and just let him be for a while. And so we took him home again. And by surely the next day he started perking up, and Flitz came flying by and he chirped at him. So then Flitz found out his mate was back. So we couldn't just keep him away. Yeah, they sat together for a while, him outside and Little Bear inside. I put a little stick so Flitz could sit a bit nice next to him. So yeah, when Little Bear took his medicine, we just let him sit on my shoulder or my daughter's shoulder for a bit to recuperate, and then Flitz could join him and they would have a bit of a fly, well, just a tiny bit of a fly, because he was still very tired, so we were careful not to overexert him. And then Tuesday next week we had another appointment at the vet. Antibiotics were done, painkillers were done. He was doing really well. He started chirping a bit again. Doesn't talk very much, but I did hear some of his favorite words. Every day something new comes out. He really wanted to sleep in his own cage, so we put this little swing. He sits on back in his own cage, and they're happily living together in their cage right now. And I think it will be all right in the end. In next week he can take a bath because he's, oh my god, he's dirty and he smells so bad because the antibiotics. He has, budgies have beards, and the antibiotics are caught in his beard here, so it's all yellowy and sticky and it smells really bad. Oh, he's a dirty bird. And he really wants a bath, but he can't because of the wound on his back. It just needs to heal a bit more. Well, when he's well, I'm sure he will dive right in. Right now he's prone to sit in his cage and just eat and sit. But Flitz is very happy. He keeps bobbing his head at him and preening him, and it's lovely to see. So yeah, my right arm is reattached. My limb missing feeling is gone. Yeah, we're very happy we could save him. The vet was also really happy he made it work. So yeah, well, thanks for staying for my little chat. I'll put some more footage of Little Bear and how far he's flown and such in here, if you like. And then again, I'll see you soon, next time, in a couple of weeks. And I'll give you an update again. Alright, bye.